So here it is. It's done. As you can see, this is an arcade machine. This was the next project. So as you can see, I'm shooting this video, the intro segment to this video, after I've already completed the project, and mainly just because I know when you click on a video, you kind of want to see what it's about before you go watching a whole big long video, and this one's going to be a long video. But anyway, just wanted to tell you what the video's about, what the show's about, if you will. I got a hair to build an arcade machine, so I used a program called Google SketchUp. It's a free CAD program that you can download and use, doesn't cost anything. And you can use it to outline projects like this. And it's real helpful when it comes to designing things. Now, I haven't done any artwork for it, and I haven't done the control panel for it. As you can see, the control panel is just a couple of Xbox controllers. That's actually what's powering this machine, is an original Xbox One, running a program called CoinOps, and it emulates several different arcade games, thousands in fact, from long ago. I've got Donkey Kong running right now, because that's my personal favorite. Love me some Donkey Kong. But anyway, in this video, you know, I don't outline the actual construction process. You don't see me using power tools. I don't go over how to use power tools. You know, I kind of give you an idea of when I used what and what the outcome was, and you know, there's a little bit of that in there. But this isn't a construction workshop video. It's just me kind of outlining the process that I went through to build this machine. So, you know, I hope you enjoy it. And you know, this was a tough build. You know, it was hard. If you're up to a challenge, this is one for you, perhaps. But you know, I encourage you to give it a try. And we'll start off with the first segment, and that's just blank board. And I make all the marks and show you how to go from there. So, hope you enjoy the video. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. And look forward to another video on the control panel and probably the artwork. I may do them together. But I'll show you how to wire up a control panel for this type of thing. It requires some specialty hardware that you'll probably have to order, but that's another video. So, yeah, thanks for watching. If you stick around to the end of the video, then props to you. I know it's a long one, so go grab you some popcorn and hopefully enjoy my crappy camera work. So, thanks. Okay. So we got another thing here. Back in the living room. Wife's pissed off again. There's my bike. What we're doing today is we are building an arcade machine. And so what I have here is a piece of 4-foot by 8-foot particle board, and I have 3 of them. So what's going to happen is I've already sketched everything up on Google SketchUp is the program I used. It's a free CAD program you can use to design and lay things out. It makes it all easy. So what I'm going to do right now is, this is all blank. I've just started. I've decided to video this one from the beginning. So this right here, I'm going to take a protractor and a tape measure and a pencil, which I have right here, and I'm going to mark out the side panel of the arcade machine. So it's going to be the 2 side panels, you know, on either side. So like if it was standing up, there'd be the side panel here, the side panel here, and then the controls would go in the middle. So this piece of board here, I'm going to mark up with all of the measurements and stuff for the design that I've done, and it's based off the Defender arcade machine. You can look that one up. I've sort of took the dimensions. I found somebody that had posted the dimensions for the Defender machine, and then I kind of went from there and made my own design. I kind of rounded some things, and I'll show you the finished bit and the CAD setup. But this is what we're starting with. So we're going to cut off to the next segment here, and I should have everything drawn up. Okay, so we've got everything marked out. Don't think you can see it in this video, but I'll get a little bit closer. There's one of the lines. That's going to be the, let me turn it the right way. It's like we're going up the machine. So that's going to be the arcade panel and where the display goes, and then that's the marquee, and then that line goes all the way back. Now there's two lines here. This line is the line that the two side panels will be cut to, and then these lines in here represent the boards that are going to be held in between the two panels to give the whole thing rigidity. So that's the whole bit right there. So I'm going to move this pencil right to the top, and then this thing right here to the edge of the control panel, so you can kind of see the general size and amount of space it's going to take up out of that board there. And I'm going to use the scrap for, you know, other parts of it as well. So next step is I'm going to take one of these other panels that I bought, and I'm going to stack that one that's marked up on top of it, clamp it all down. I'm actually going to use 2 or 3 screws to hold the two panels together so they don't move at all while I'm cutting it. And then I'm going to get my jigsaw and skill saw after it, and then cut all of the detail out, remove the screw, or then I'm going to sand with the belt sander the edges so that everything's nice and smooth and it looks good. And then I'm going to start putting it all together. Take the screws out and start putting it all together. And these are my plans. I don't know if you can see them very well, but that's kind of the whole thing marked up. And like I said, I used Google SketchUp. So yep. So I'm going to cut over to the next bit, which should be the machine cut out and sanded, or at least the two side panels. Okay, so we're outside again. Everything's been cut out. Let's see if we can get it all in the picture there. That is a coffee table. Shut up. That's what I choose to use. So the next step is going to be routing. What I've done is I've screwed these together. I've used 4 screws to just hold it together while I was working on it. There's actually 2 pieces there, and that would be so that I could get both sides of it exactly the same. And the next step is going to be to route the edges there, you know, to round those off, make them look prettier. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take it apart, because you know, I want to do those, you know, separately so they'll be rounded properly. And then I'm going to take the other board that I got, the fiber board, and cut that bad boy in half. So this is where we're at, and I'm kind of running out of daylight here. I may run out of light before I can get everything done that I wanted to do today, but I'll just pick it up tomorrow if that's the case. So here's where we're at in the construction process, and so we'll cut off to the next segment. Alright, so I'm done doing stuff for tonight, and you know, I went ahead and brought this thing in. I'm going to route the thing out tomorrow and cut the board in half and do all that bit tomorrow. So basically I got lazy, but I'm going to finish it off, or you know, pick up where I left off rather, tomorrow morning. But this gives you some idea of, you know, how tall the thing stands. I mean, it's a standard sized door next to it, you know, so it just gives you an idea. Anyway, I'm going to turn in for the night, and I'll pick this whole project thing back up tomorrow morning. Yep. Alright. It's a new day. A new day, and that thing's still there. But over on this board, as you can see, I have made my markings for all of the little, we'll call them, I guess, middle pieces. Okay. So I got all that marked out, and then that piece right there is going to be the back panel. I'm going to cut that scrap off, and that's going to be the back panel that's hinged to allow service to the machine. So the next task at hand is to cut cut all these little pieces out. I've got them labeled so that I don't forget what they are, and those labels correspond to numbers that I've written down over here on my plans. And then that thing's coming apart, and I'm going to use that tool right there. That's my granddaddy's router he gave to me about a year or so ago. It's a Craftsman, very nice. So that's going to be the tool that I use to round off the edges of the whatchamajig there, and then we're back to the skill saw. This particular tool I felt worthy of showing off because most of my crap comes from like thrift stores and Goodwills and stuff, but you know, my granddad's had this for years. I would imagine it's probably from the 70s, so it's a pretty cool tool and it works really well. So I'm glad to have that one in my collection. But anyway, on to the cutting out of the boards and the rounding off of the edges there. So yep, that's the next part. Alright, so I got the edges routed. I'm going to show you the difference here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this is a hard edge. This is non-routed. That's one piece, side piece. This is the other side piece. And then this over here is routed. It's edged. It's round, smooth. So that's gonna make a big difference in the final look of the product once it's finished. That of course will be sanded and finished and painted and all that. But just wanted to show the difference there. And I've also got all my little bits and pieces cut out outside. So I'll show you those. So we're outside, and believe it or not, that's that and that are all of the pieces that were on that 4x8 piece of plyboard. Cut it all down into smaller sections. Yeah, you can see them there. So those are going to be the middle pieces to the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up routing everything, and then you know, I'll probably have to go to work by then, so I probably won't get to do anything until tomorrow. But you know, next step is to start assembling it and actually get the cab put together, and then we're going to paint it and put all the stuff inside of it and all that. So yeah, that's where we're at on the project. Okay, so we have a new crossroads in the project here. We're about to got everything cut down, marked. We're about to begin final assembly. So what I've done here is I've actually taken the pieces that I cut out and I laid them all out the way they were going to be, and actually drew it, you know, where each thing was gonna go, and all those little dots are where the screws that are going to hold the thing together are going to go. So I've gone around the whole thing, and that's the TV I'm going to use, and I've put that there to make sure that it had enough clearance to actually fit where I wanted it to go. Nice find there. I got it for 13 bucks at Goodwill, and it's a 20-inch. It's a flat CRT, so that's kind of exactly what I was looking for this project, and it's just going to fit, so it's perfect. So yeah, that's the next step here, is to drill these pilot holes and then start screwing the panels in. So we'll cut over to that. Okay, so here's another update video for you. It's coming together. You can hardly see it because of the background there. Let me get on this side of it. You can see it there. But I'm starting to put the middle panels on. I got the little vents down there at the bottom. I got vents up top. It's not sealed up all the way yet, but that's coming on. And then you know, then the next step, I'm out of daylight today, so the next step's going to be to paint it. So I'll knock that out tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and finish getting it assembled tonight, so that tomorrow all I got to do is worry about painting it and then getting that stupid TV to sit inside there. I have a feeling that's going to be the hardest part of the whole project. So anyway, that's where we're at so far. Bye now. Alright, I'm done for the night. I've run out of gas. So anyway, I made this segment actually to show, because I had originally designed this back cabinet door here to be hinged, so I've changed that. What I did was I made a little inset inlay thing, and I'll show more about this later, but this is attached, you know, to the wall. You know, that one doesn't move, and this door here leans up against it, and I'm going to make a similar kick type of thing down at the bottom, and then just put like those little kind of latches on them. But yeah, that's the back, and let me show you the front here. I've got the TV in there, which wasn't too bad. Let's see here. Yeah. So you can see the whole cabinet there with the TV in it. So a couple of things. So right now, this panel, and then the control panel are not attached yet. Those will be attached at a later time. But anyway, that's it coming along. I had a real productive day today. Got everything that I wanted to do done. So tomorrow I'm going to pick it up and paint it, and then we'll get everything permanently mounted in there and hook the Xbox up and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what's coming. Okay, so I realized before I painted anything I was going to have to put in speaker grills. So what I did was I pulled out, because I'm a cheap bastard, I pulled out the speakers, took the TV apart, and I ripped out the speakers for it. Sorry, I'm being a terrible videoer. And I ran the wires that were hooked up to the speakers just outside the TV so that I can tie on some extensions here and run those up to the panel that's going to go right above the television right here. And on that panel I've just used my drill press and I've cut out rows of holes here, and this is the speaker, so I cut the rows of holes to match the size of the speaker so that it's mounted on the inside like this and it's screwed down, and then on the front, you know, it's got the opening so that the sound can come out. So that's all cut down, and that's the scrap board I used behind it just to keep it from tearing the wood. But this is the actual panel that's going to go right up here, right there. You can kind of see it. And so the two speaker grills are going to be right there. So yeah, next steps, I'm going to mud up. I'm going to use some drywall compound to fill in these gaps and get that all smooth, and then I'm going to paint it. So we'll cut over to that next bit then. Alright, we're back outside, and as you can see, I've been busy. Let me get back here a little bit. That's the thing. Excuse my messy patio, it's just how things are. But right now I've got it mostly all painted. I've got the first coat of black everywhere except for that the control panel here, and I'm gonna do a second coat of black on it today and hit that panel as well. In the last segment I was showing you guys the speaker grills. I don't know if you can really see them in this video, but they're right up here. They've been painted, and this is the piece of plexi that's in front of the TV. I'll show you that in just a second. I'm not sure if you can be able to see in here. Yeah, there you go. That's the speaker mounted on the back of that panel, and then I've got just standard speaker wire running from that down so I can hook up the TV. What else? Oh yeah, on the panel here, I've made this so that it's removable. So if you pick up on it here, it'll come out, and then I've got a little rail there that catches on this lip right here. And I did that so that I can change the panel out
if I ever wanted to make another panel. For, you know, the first one I'm going to do is going to be a 2-player panel, so I figure if I ever want to make just a single-player panel, I can do that. Or if I want to put something fun in there, like a trackball, or you know, like I guess I could rig up a steering wheel somehow, maybe. But yeah, that's the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and slap the last coat of paint on it, and then I've got to still mask this off and paint the bezel. This is cloudy because this has got the protective screen on it that the plexi comes with. So as soon as I get this masked off the way I want it, I'm going to spray paint the back side of it so that the front side has a nice glossy border like you would see in the old arcade machines. And then after that, let me get way back so you can really see it. And then after that, you know, it's done. It's ready to go, except for obviously that control panel. I still got to do that. So that's going to be in a couple of weeks. I'll probably do a separate video on that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and paint it, and I'll wrap up the video here in the next segment. All right, so I've moved the Behemoth into the living room, where it's gonna stay for at least a little while until my wife tells me it can't anymore. Instead of controller panel, I've got the controller just kind of chilling there, so I have to figure out some clever way to, you know, make that look neat. But anyway, let me show you the back here, show you what's going on. Got the speakers hooked up to the TV. I got those wired up. And once again, you know, well, I showed you where the speakers are. So then the leads going down to the Xbox, and then the controllers are going up to the thing. So everything's hooked up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this off and put the back on it and get it into position. I'm going to go ahead and paint that bezel, and then I will show you what it looks like fully installed and working. Alright, it's all done. Running Donkey Kong. How about that, huh? It's good to go. Let me turn the light on here so you can kind of see it a little bit better. Yeah, so that's kind of hard to see with the glare. But the bezel is nice and shiny. Got it painted. It looks gorgeous. It's a lot of glare in here. You can't really see it in all of its splendor. But you know, it does really look good. And you know, the control panel's not done yet. But what I've done here is I showed you this earlier. I've made this so that it lifts up. And I've got my Xbox controllers down in here. And if you'll listen, what's that? It's sound. The speakers, they work. It works. It's so cool. Oh, watch out, Mario, you're gonna hit Bear Barrel. Oh, if I had a control pad, I could have helped you. Anyway, you get the idea. So speakers are working, everything's working, so it's good to go. Yeah, so that's the end of it, really. I mean, I guess that's the whole video. Everything's good to go. I mean, I am gonna eventually do some artwork for the marquee and probably some side panel artwork for it as well. But that's another time. Control panel's next, and that's going to take me probably a couple more weeks to save up all the money I need for it. So I'm just going to play it with an Xbox controller for now and be happy. So I'm going to go play some Donkey Kong now. Bye, everybody. Bye.